How many times have you lost before the fight even started? Not because you were weak, not because you didn't know what to do, but because you couldn't focus. Your mind scattered, your strength leaking anyway. Distraction is the modern enemy. And if you don't learn to lock your focus, life will beat you before the bell even rings. I'm Carl Gregory, applied identity researcher, advanced trauma therapist, and the voice of the architect of self. I build frameworks that cut through trauma, chaos, and distraction, helping people rebuild focus, resilience, and clarity when life tries to break them. This isn't therapy. It's a fight plan. If you're in deep and need help, don't white knuckle it. Get the qualified professional who can walk with you. This is the Unconquered Mind, where we strip away the noise, face the fight head on, and build a mind that doesn't fold. Today's battle, the power of focus. Let's get into it. Picture this. An entrepreneur walks into the biggest meeting of her life. Across the table sit 5 investors, each one with the power to flip her world into an instant success. She's been grinding for years, bleeding for this idea, living on fumes and sacrifice. This room is the door. All she has to do is walk through it. And she's ready. She's rehearsed her numbers until they live in her bones. She knows her product, her vision, her plan. She's done all the work. But when the questions start firing, her mind slips. Not because she doesn't know the answers, but because the noise comes in flooding. What if I sound stupid? What if they don't believe me? What if this is my last shot and I blow it? Her thoughts scatter, and suddenly she's not in the room anymore. She's in the past, replaying the last failure. She's in the future, catastrophizing what happens if they say no. Everywhere but where she needs to be. Right here, right now, in this room. Her voice cracks. Her story loses its power. And those investors, they don't just see the stumble, they feel it. The shift in energy, the drift in her presence. And when the meeting ends, so does her shot. She didn't lose because her idea was weak. She didn't lose because she didn't prepare. She lost because she wasn't here. She wasn't present. Her focus was fractured, and opportunity walked out the door without even shaking her hand. That's the battlefield you and I step into every day. Maybe it's not investors across a table from you. Maybe it's your boss, your partner, your kids. The one shot you get at proving you can deliver. And distraction isn't some cute little habit you can laugh about. Distraction is a thief. It robs you of presence. It robs you of execution. It robs you of the moment you've been grinding towards, and it doesn't give second chances. That's the sting. Most of us don't lose because we're not capable. We lose because we let our attention bleed out in 100 different directions. And when it matters most, we're too fractured to fight. The entrepreneur didn't get beat by her competition. She got beat by her own scattered mind. And here's the brutal truth. So do you. Every time you open 10 tabs and call it multitasking. Every time you reach for your phone mid-conversation. Every time you replay the fight from last week while you're supposed to be locked in on today's mission. That's self-sabotage in real time. We act like distraction is cute, like it's a badge of modern life. But it's not cute. It's cancer, silent, corrosive, and relentless. It rots your execution from the inside out. And the worst part, you don't notice until the damage is already done. Let me break it down. Your brain isn't built for this modern world. It was designed to lock in on one threat, the rustle in the grass, the predator in the dark. But today, you've got 100 predators screaming at you every second. Emails, notifications, headlines, memories, fears. Your amygdala fires like it's under siege, and your focus fractures like it's glass. And when that focus shatters, so does your execution. You miss details. You hesitate. You waste time and energy on battles that don't even matter. By the time the real fight shows up, you've already bled out. That's why focus isn't optional. It's survival. The 3 principles of focus. Number 1, choose your battlefield. Epictetus said you cannot control all events, but you can control what matters most in this moment. Most people lose because they're fighting everywhere, trying to win 10 wars at once. And every war takes a piece of them until there's nothing left. The unconquered mind doesn't scatter. It picks one battlefield. Every morning, ask yourself, what single fight, if I win it, makes the rest irrelevant? Circle it. That's your war. Everything else is distraction disguised as importance. Number 2, kill the noise. Noise doesn't knock, it ambushes. And if you think you can out-discipline it in the moment, you're already compromised. Marcus Aurelius warned, you will never master yourself if you're a slave to distraction. The enemy of focus is always waiting at the gate. Your phone, your inbox, your wandering mind. Kill it before it kills you. Shut the door. Silence the notifications. Boundaries aren't luxury, they're armor. Number 3, train your lens. Here's the science. Your attention works like a spotlight in the brain. The more you redirect it, the sharper it gets. The weaker you let it wander, the fuzzier it becomes. Most people's spotlight is dim, flickering, uncontrolled. They call it short attention span. I call it weakness. But weakness can be trained. Do the reps. 25 minutes locked on one task, 0 compromise. When your mind drifts, and it will, drag it back. That's not failure, that's the set. That's the rep. That's how you build a lens that cuts like a blade instead of scattering like dust. Think about this. A quarterback has the ball. 40,000 people in the stands. The roar is deafening. The play's simple. Read the defense, hit the open receiver. He's done it 1,000 times in practice. But this time, his mind fractures. Instead of locking on his man, he's thinking about the sack he took last quarter. He's thinking about the scouts in the stands. He's thinking about what the commentators will say if he blows it. The ball snaps, his eyes dart, his focus scatters, and he never sees the linebacker. 1 second later, he's flat on the ground. The ball stripped. The game gone. He didn't lose because he lacked skill. He didn't lose because he hadn't trained. He lost because he wasn't here. His body was on the field, but his mind was everywhere else. And in that split second, the game slipped away. That's the battlefield you face. Your game might not be under stadium lights, but the stakes are just as high. A job interview, a hard talk with your partner, a moment where your kid just needs your eyes, not your phone. And if your focus fractures in those moments, you lose. Not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because you let distractions strip you of presence. And here's the sting most people never face. Life doesn't hand you the same play twice. That moment, that chance, that opportunity, once it's gone, it doesn't come back. You either showed up, focused and locked, or you didn't. And nobody remembers the excuse. They only remember the result. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." 2,000 years ago, he was fighting the same battle you and I are fighting right now. The chaos of Rome, the demands of an empire, the weight of 1,000 voices clawing for his attention. His answer wasn't to try and control the noise. His answer was to master his own focus. Epictetus said it even harsher. If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid about things that don't matter. In other words, let the world call you distracted, rude, or detached, if it means you're locked in on what activity actually matters. You see, the Stoics understood what most people of today refuse to admit. Distraction is weakness. Focus is power. And every moment you give your focus away, you're not just losing time, you're surrendering strength. Let's have some practical drills to train focus. Focus isn't a gift, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it only grows if you train it. Here are the drills. Don't just listen, do them. Drill 1, the one thing war plan. Every morning write down the one mission that matters most today. Not 5, not 3, 1. Ask yourself, if I only win this one fight, would the day still be a victory? Circle it. Lock onto it. That's your battlefield. Everything else is noise. And if you hit the pillow at night without giving it your best, you lost. Period. Drill 2. Premeditation of distraction. Before you start your work, stop and name the enemies that are going to come for you. The buzzing phone, the browser tab you can't resist, the thought loop that pulls you back into last week's failure. Write them down. See them before they ambush you, and then decide in advance how you'll shut them down. You don't beat distraction in the moment. You beat it before the fight even starts. Drill 3. Focus sprints. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Pick one task, only one task. When your mind drifts, and it will, drag it back again and again. Don't see it as failure, see it as reps. That's your mind doing push-ups. When the bell hits, take a 5-minute break, then run it again. This is how you turn a scattered spotlight into a laser. Drill 4. The nightly autopsy. Before you close your eyes, do a 5-minute review. Ask yourself, where did my focus hold? Where did it bleed? What killed me today? and how do I kill it tomorrow? Write it down. Be brutally honest. Don't romanticize. Don't excuse. Distraction thrives in shadows. Drag it into the light, and it loses its power. These aren't tips. They're weapons. Run them daily, and you'll feel your mind harden. Skip them, and you'll keep bleeding out in all the same ways you have as always. Focus isn't given, it's forged. And if you want an unconquered mind, you don't get to dabble. You train. Here's the part nobody likes to admit. Most of the losses in your life weren't about strength, talent, or resources. They weren't about bad luck. They were about your focus. You had the tools. You had the shot. But your attention was fractured. Your presence was diluted. You weren't really there. And in that split second, the moment passed you by. That's the sting of distraction. It doesn't just waste time, it wastes life. It steals moments you don't get back. The conversation you half listened to. The opportunity you fumbled because your head was somewhere else. The chance to be fully alive in the only place life actually happens. Right here, right now. Focus isn't just about productivity. It's about presence. It's about showing up so completely that nothing and no one can say you weren't in the fight. And the truth is, if you can't command your own attention, you don't own your own life. Someone else does. The algorithm does. The fear does. The noise does. You don't. So ask yourself tonight, where is my focus bleeding out? What distractions are draining me dry while I tell myself I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I'm too overwhelmed? And what would change? Who would I become if I took that power back? Don't just sit with that question. Do something with it. DM me the one thing that's stealing your focus right now. The one enemy you're ready to cut out. Send it to me on Insta at Carl H. Gregory. I'll share some of your answers in the next episode, and you'll see. You're not fighting this war alone. If you don't have Instagram, feel free to email me. info@carlhgregory.com. Send me your battle, send me your fight, or send me an idea for an episode. Focus is one fight, but it's not the only one. Because even if you lock your attention, life will still come for you. Not with chaos, not with noise, but with weight, pressure, the crushing moments that demand everything you've got. Next time, we're stepping into that battlefield. The weight of pressure. How to carry the load without breaking. How to endure when most people fold. And how an unconquered mind doesn't just survive pressure. It thrives under it. This is the Unconquered Mind series on the Architect of Self. Harden your focus, reclaim your presence, step into your fight, and come back ready for the next round. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. Stay strong, stay tough, and stay in the fight.